This is going to be my first voice post, and I'm mainly doing this because I looked at this shit and decided there is no way I'm going to do it with text. There is not enough caps lock or large font in the world to express my disgust with this article. So I'm going to have to rely on my real voice, and hopefully that will deter me from screaming because screaming freaking hurts. Yeah. I think I'll start by telling you guys about how I found this article. You see, a few days ago I was doing my English half-yearly exams, and I walked into the exam room a bit nervous but determined I'm going to do well. I know I'm going to do well because I prepared and studied and had my essays all nicely memorized. Now, our exam was split into 3 sections, with a reading task, a creative writing task, and an essay question. They all have equal marks assigned to them, so I decided I should do the reading task first. I flipped open the paper and I exploded. I completely snapped. I have never done this before in an exam, and no matter what, but this drove me to the point of falling. What sat before me was the most sexist, racist, homophobic, and shoddy research paper in the world. I could not believe my eyes. And when the question asked me to discuss the article's stunning insight into the nature of belonging, I freaking blew up. I went on a full-page tirade against the examiners, because I will not put up with this shit. And I called them all stupid idiots for choosing an article so amateurishly written and biased as this. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to fail, because examiners don't take very well to that. But even with my full-page tirade, I still didn't manage to discuss all the points in this article that pissed me off. So I'm going to do that here and show you guys exactly why I blew up, and hopefully you'll agree with me. This article is titled Lost Inside Our Cultural Ghettos, which is really a quite misleading title, as it actually makes you think this article might have substance. It would definitely be a lot more honest of the writer to just name this Why I'm More Awesome Than Any of You. The author is named Adele Horan. I googled her and apparently she really is female. Please keep that point in mind, it's very important. Also, apparently she has a freaking Human Rights Award medal, which is just, what the hell? I'll get to that later because, dude, if this woman can get a Human Rights medal, then I demand to be sainted. It's published in the Sydney Morning Herald, which unfortunately is just about the most commonly read newspaper in Sydney, which is sad, really, because I thought they had higher standards than this. It was published on the 31st and 30th of October 2010, which means it's actually pretty damn recent. I think that's why this pissed me off so much. See, I would have understood attitudes like this if the article was published in the 50s, but 2 years ago, that just freaks me out. With that said, let's get on to the actual article. I do not look forward to this. Despite the popularity of book groups and Facebook, the bonds that once held us together are fraying, and evidence points to a loss of community feeling. That is the first paragraph. And already, I cannot count how many things in here piss me off. First of all, I'm sure all of you noticed the mention of Facebook. Oh no, now this is just another crazy old woman we need to blame all of society's problems on the evil, evil internet. But actually, the truth is even more sinister. Despite mentioning Facebook in the very first paragraph, which was meant to set the tone for the newspaper, she never mentions it again. Ever. It's just thrown out here and promptly ignored by the author. So I can only draw one conclusion from this. She obviously heard about the popularity of Facebook and decided that'd be a fantastic way to reel in an audience and spring her propaganda on them. In other words, bait and switch. Next, you notice her mentioning bonds that once held us together, and this is never defined or explained. We never find out what exact bonds she's talking about. Apparently, she just expects us to magically fill in the blanks for her because she knows what she's talking about, and surely the readers are smart enough to read her mind. And then there's the frame and evidence. Spoiler alert, guys, she never presents any evidence in this article. I am not even kidding. Not a single statistic or citation. Not a single one. And I'm sure you guys have heard about newspaper structures. The most important paragraph is what's supposed to be first. The same rule applies to stories. The first paragraph is what is meant to draw in the reader and keep them hooked. And as it is, I have no trust in this reporter and absolutely no desire to read on. Oh, and also, I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be a comma after Facebook. A deal. You really don't endear yourself to me when you miss freaking commas like an average 12-year-old soother. In a new book called Disconnected. Wait. Just one moment here. This is the first thing you reference in this article? I honestly don't think it would be a good idea to present the most important piece of evidence from a book, as opposed to, an academic study or some verified research papers or something. And from a book with a title like that, how obvious do you want to make your bias? Of course, a book titled Disconnected is going to agree with the proposal that people are becoming less communal. I mean, what did you expect it to do? Nothing you can pull from that book can convince me a deal. You're just preaching to the choir here. One of our MPs, Andrew Lay. Wait. What? Really? Honestly? That is the person you want to cite? A freaking politician? Oh yeah, because they're known for being accurate and intelligent and completely objective. Oh, no way are they going to be biased. Obviously, we can believe anything out of their mouths. Really, Adil, you're just hurting your own case here. Especially since there shouldn't be a period after members of parliament. Just because it's an abbreviation doesn't mean you can always put a period after it. Right. Anyways, one of our MPs, Andrew Lay, a former Australian National University professor of economics. Oh, so he has at least some qualifications. But you do know that a degree doesn't magically make you objective, right? Which is, what the newspaper article should be. Presents some compelling data to show that Australians are living lonelier and less connected lives than 30 to 40 years ago. Yes, and another spoiler alert, guys, but she never shows us this apparently brilliant and compelling data. If it was really that convincing, you'd think she would have included it in her article. But I'm sure she has a very compelling reason for not doing so. I'm just too stupid to comprehend her brilliant logic. Oh, and that article would have a lot more weight behind it if you defined what you meant by lonelier and less connected. Do you mean that we party less? Do we talk to friends less? Do people slit their wrists while listening to Linkin Park nowadays? What do you mean by less connected? Because that is a very vague phrase. We're not going to believe you when we have no idea what you're going on about. Oh, but isn't it interesting that she keeps this just vague enough so that we can completely refute her argument by fact-checking? I find it interesting, at least. Oh, and 30 to 40 years ago? Anyone who can honestly say that the social climate in Sydney never changed from 1970 to 1980 is an idiot. That's just really all I can say. Because if I start getting into why the 70s had vastly different cultures and social norms than the 80s, then we'll be stuck around here till next year. Well, 2 paragraphs in and I'm already pushing my time limit. This is not a good sign. Apparently talking out loud doesn't make me any less ranty. Well, see you in the next part, guys.